We ready to go here?
Yeah.
You know, you've had a lot of accomplishments at Mizzou, but when this past season started,
Wisconsin
you
has
imagine
Hendricks
that you'd be
at
sitting here as
three.
what looks like a sure top 10 pick and quite possibly the top quarterback in the draft.
Going into last season, I definitely had goals to reach, and one of those was having the opportunity to enter the NFL draft. And throughout the season, I never focused on that one bit. I was more worried about winning football games for my Missouri team. And at the end of the season, I had to make that decision. And of course, I did make myself eligible for the draft, and I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Do you have an awareness of where you might go? Surely you must, and how?
Yeah, of course. There's speculation, but at the end of the day, it's out of my control. I still got to go out there and perform at a high level and still work as hard as possible.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah, there's no question. I'm ecstatic. This opportunity doesn't come around very often. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and I'm going to make the most of it and just have fun doing it.
I know Condon and the CAA guys, they don't have their quarterbacks throw. Are you okay with that?
Correct. Yeah, I'm with Tom Condon of Creative Artists, and Tom's philosophy in the past is not throwing quarterbacks to the combine, and I trust him with his advice, and we have a plan set up, and I'll be throwing at my pro day on March 17th.
What do you hope to show this week without throwing with all the other pros?
The biggest thing is the interview process. That's so instrumental in drafting a quarterback. You got to show that you're smart. You got to be able to show that you're smart on the board, be able to talk in person. And then, of course, doing the running drills. Hopefully I'll run a good 40 and test well on all the other events.
Teams ask you about your leadership characteristics. What do you point to demonstrate?
Well, at Mizzou, we only had senior captains, but on offense and defense, I was a captain. Being a junior, being the quarterback, you're in the spotlight, and you have to lead your team to victory. You're the vocal leader on that football team, and that was the biggest thing I did at Mizzou.
Working out in Arizona, Christian Ponder, talk about your friendship and how you kind of help each other through this process.
Yeah, Christian's an awesome guy. We become really good friends, and just having another quarterback out there to relate to as well really helps the whole process, just bouncing ideas off of him, working out together. And then we have some of the same interests off the field. We've gone fishing a few times at a few mountain lakes up there, so we got a close bond, and we're good buds.
Hey, Blaine, do you get the sense that it's kind of you against Cam Newton at the top of the draft board of quarterbacks?
I think that's what you guys are making it out to be, kind of me versus Cam. But no, it's just an opportunity for us to get drafted as high as possible. I know Cam, Ryan, and Jake are all working to be the number one guy, and it's going to be a fun next few months.
How do you compare yourself to him? Maybe?
Oh, Cam's an explosive athlete. You've seen what he has done at the college level. He's won a JUCO national championship, won the national championship at Division I level, and he's been extremely successful. So he has all the talent in the world, but we're going to compete and fight it out, and may the best man win.
You said that you trust Tom Condon in terms of not throwing, just running, that sort of thing. But when you're weighing what you want to do, why do you think it is smarter to wait until your first quarter?
It's been successful in the past. You see guys, of course, Sam had his injury, so he's only going to throw at his pro day, but Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford, these guys have only selected to throw at their pro day, and they've been extremely successful in doing that. And it's more of a controlled atmosphere. You have a script. I'm not shying away from competition or anything, but I'm just throwing at my pro day, and that's really about it.
Blaine, how difficult was the decision to come out?
Huh?
How difficult was the decision to come out?
It was difficult at first, but at the end of the day, it became pretty black and white. After my bowl game, I sat down with my family and my coaching staff, and we had to we made pros and cons for each situation, leaving school early and coming back. Biggest thing that was important to me was finishing my degree. I'm not very far away from getting a degree in finance, and I'm going to finish that sooner or later, but this opportunity was too great to pass up.
Blaine, Ron Rivera said yesterday he wanted to talk to several quarterbacks in regards to the first pick in the draft. Have they talked to you, set anything up, and do you think you're in the mix or not?
We had the informal interviews last night in the train station, but other than that, we have formal interviews set up for tonight and tomorrow.
Playing the bowl game, you made some of the best throws of your career, but also a crucial mistake in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that game? Is that sort of the best and the worst thing of what you could have done as a quarterback?
Yeah, our offense, we were really clicking that game. Everything was working. We were seeing things before it happened. Our receivers did a wonderful job getting open, sitting in the zones. But, yeah, at the end of the day, I made that crucial mistake, lost the football game, but I learned from that. I made that mistake, and I'm going to move on from it.
Footwork and the range, sort of different from talk about maybe what he's working on right now to kind of prepare for different footwork requirements and range.
Yeah, I really wouldn't necessarily say the reads are different. We're not really a one-side read offense. We have 3-4 progression reads. Of course, the footwork is different. We're in the shotgun about 98% of the time. So that's what I've been working on. That's what I focused on out in Athletes Performance in Arizona. And my quarterback coach, Coach Terry Shea, has made that an extremely important process that I have to work on. And I've done a great job so far and haven't seen a problem one bit.
Blaine, you mentioned Ryan, Cam, and where do you think your strengths are compared to those guys in terms of the quarterback position?
Oh, everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. Everybody's going to have the strong arm. They're going to be accurate. Because if we didn't have these characteristics, we wouldn't be in this position to play right now.
How much have you looked at the top 10 and envisioned yourself maybe on where you could potentially go?
Oh, of course, you see the teams that need quarterbacks in this draft, and anything can happen on draft day. Trades are likely to happen. People are going to fall, so you really don't know until you really get your name called in New York.
When it comes to the mechanics under center, play action, play fakes, and stuff like that, Joe Flacco was a guy who got a lot of shots.
Mm-hmm.
Still sell play action. It seems like you're that kind of quarterback. How often do you work on play action?
Well, play action was an extremely important part of our offense at Mizzou, albeit we were in the shotgun. But you see guys like Joe Flacco, Sam Bradford, Colt McCoy, Tim Tebow. I can go on and on and on about these spread quarterbacks in college who've had early success in their careers in the NFL.
In terms of work ethic, what do you think it takes to be a successful quarterback in the NFL?
It takes more than what it did in college. Talking to guys that played high levels in college, I talked to Eli Manning, Josh Freeman, of course Chase Daniel, Sam Bradford. These guys were extremely successful in college, but it takes more in the NFL. It's a full-time job, and I realize that and I know that. And the best thing about me is I love the game of football. That's been my goal, to only do football. And I'm going to be in the film room, going to be in the weight room, just preparing as hard as possible.
Which teams have you talked to so far that end up lining as a prospect?
We've talked to everybody. Like I said, last nights were the informal interviews, so we kind of walked around, got to know really every coach.
So you think enough spread quarterbacks have succeeded in the NFL that's not much of a hurdle?
There's no question. These guys, Tim Tebow, the knock on him was he was a 100% shotgun quarterback, and he started the last few games with Denver, had success. Sam, same way. He was in shotgun a lot in college. Colt McCoy, same way. These guys have had all success in their rookie season, so I really don't see the problem with being a spread quarterback in college, because if you're good, and you're going to play wherever.
And you think your film work basically answers that question?
There's no question. I have all the confidence in the world in my abilities.
Anything particular Sam talked to you about in terms of this process?
You just got to have fun with it, and that's what I'm doing. This is a blast being here in Indianapolis. It's a dream come true, and if you're doing something that's not fun, it's not worth doing it. So I'm having fun throughout this whole process, taking everything in stride and just getting better every day.
As a likely top 10 quarterback, you're probably going to, wherever you go, you'll be the face of the franchise, and the demands that go with that. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's an opportunity. I was the face of Missouri. Being the quarterback, you're always in the spotlight. You're going to be living in a glass bubble, so you got to be responsible on the field as well as off the field, and you got to watch every action you make. Yeah, Coach Shea, he's an awesome coach and even a better person, and he really relates to us on a personal level. He's coached, of course, Sam, Matthew Stafford, Josh Freeman. All these guys down the line have been coached by Coach Shea, and he's done a wonderful job with me so far, and I know he's made those guys better quarterbacks as well.
I'm guessing he's worked a lot on the footwork and the drops. When
Yeah, of course, especially since, like I said, I was in the shotgun a lot in college, and that was a big part of this whole workout process, was firming up my technique and drops from under center.
Do you know Cam Newton at all, or very well? Or?
I met Cam last night. We talked for a little bit, and that was the first time I met him.
Blaine, consider your decision not to go here. Maybe how comfortable are you on you if Cam comes with you, have a great workout, and maybe moves ahead of you in the conversation?
Oh, I don't think it's going to be tough at all. Of course, he may move up on the draft boards in your eyes, but I'm still going to go out there, have a great pro day, still work my tail off, and like I said, nobody knows what's going to happen until draft day.
You had some really interesting formations over the year where you had like bunch with 4 guys on one side. What advantages are there for a quarterback in running back than a guy who's seen so many areas of carries and stuff like that?
People are getting open, but the biggest thing for a quarterback in those formations, you got to be able to throw the football down the field to the sideline, because you are far away from receivers, and that's what helped me a lot. We spread the football around. We didn't just dink and dunk. We threw it everywhere on the field.
Yeah, because on tape you seem to have a real ability to stick throws.
Yeah, that was an instrumental part of our offense, hitting the seams, hitting the verticals on the sideline, and that's how we beat teams. So if I had to make those throws, I was willing to make those throws, and I did make those throws.
Given the number...
Tim's a great center. I know he wished he could have had the opportunity to be here. I know he's going to be an extremely successful offensive lineman at the next level. because I've seen what he can do on the college football field. He's one of the best offensive linemen I've ever played with.
When you were exploring your decision whether or not to go pro, how much did you look at the NFL and maybe even team for team as to who's going to need a quarterback in 2011?
Oh, that was definitely a big factor into my decision. You're looking at the top 15 teams, potentially 10 teams could use a quarterback, and I know every quarterback in this draft looked at that. Not only me. So that was a kind of a point that helped me make my decision. That's kind of why I decided to come out.
Given how many teams need starting options, would it be your expectation to be a starter from day one? I mean, would you think you're more than likely to go to a team that needs instant help?
Well, I'm going to go in the mindset that I'm going to be the starter from day one. That's how quarterbacks have to be. You got to be the competitor who's going to go in there, work your tail off to fight for that starting job, and whatever the coaches at the destination deem necessary for us, we're going to be willing to do. If that's learning under a veteran quarterback for a few years, if that's starting from day one, we're going to compete and be the best quarterback as possible.
But you feel like your game would be ready if you went to a team that needed instant help?
There's no question, all right? As soon as I'm drafted, I'm going to be working to be that starting quarterback.
What was your height and weight, Blaine?
One of your teammates here is Alden Smith, defensive end. What kind of a player is he? What will he bring to the team?
Alden, he's a freak. I've known Alden since high school, and seeing the transition he's made coming from a 220-pound D end out of Kansas City, and now he's close to 270 pounds, and just seeing him play on the football field is pretty special. The things he can do for how big he is, it's pretty crazy to watch.
Blaine, what was your height and weight?
I was 6'4" and 3/8, 234 pounds.
Blaine, one of the things you're trying to do here is through this whole process to sell yourself as the best quarterback in this career. Why do you think you are?
I'm going to outwork everybody. That's how I was raised, that nothing's ever going to be given you in life. You got to earn everything you get, and that's kind of the mindset I've taken to football, the mindset I've taken to school, that you got to work for what you get in life, and that's why I'm never going to stop working. I'm never going to be outworked by anybody else.
What do you know specifically about the situation in Carolina, and do you think number one is possible?
Oh, anything's possible. Who knows? They could trade away from number one. Anything can happen on draft day, but yes, they are looking at a quarterback. I know they do have a few young quarterbacks on that roster, but I know they are looking at somebody to solidify that position, because at the end of the day, the quarterback is there to win football games.
Thought about what throws you will make it at your pro day with some routes?
Oh, I mean, I'm going to make every throw. There's no throw I'm going to shy away from. Comebacks, deep balls, slants, digs, deep outs, bang eights. It's going to be the whole spectrum of throws.
Couple more questions, guys.
Prospect of a lockout and learning the system, how frustrating would that be, being a quarterback coming through a new system?
Oh, it would definitely be frustrating if there would be a lockout. But we don't know if there's going to be one. I'm sure they're going to reach an agreement sooner or later, and whenever they do reach that agreement, I'll be writing the playbook the next day.
Can you gauge the interest of a team like? Can you gauge the interest of a team like the Bengals that in a situation where they might be needing a quarterback or Palmer? I mean, can you gauge something like that, or is it you keep it?
Not necessarily. You just got to go into every interview with the mindset that they need a quarterback, that they're the number one draft pick, and that's how you got to approach every interview. You got to be polite, be courteous, and show them what you can do on the football field.
Thank you very much, Blaine.